Welcome on board the brand new Beneteau First 24. My name is Tit Plevnik and today I've prepared for you the complete walkthrough of the boat. Building in the 40 years of Beneteau First heritage, this 7th incarnation of First range is still staying true to its original mission, delivering accessible and modern sailing experience. Naval architect with a racing background had characterized the new First range with modern, fast and planning hulls. Beneteau First 24 is a unique day sailor, micro cruiser or a club racer, and it's a modern answer on really numerous fleet of boats in this length category, which is really outdated and there was no real replacement recently. So we designed this boat as a true people's boat. So on one hand side, the families will go cruising, you will enjoy exciting day sailing, and of course we are certain that she will bring home trophies for the club racers. During the entire video, take the opportunity of this 360-degree video format. So I've actually prepared a virtual reality tour of the boat. In the first part, we will check the interior of the boat and all the cruising features that the boat has to offer. And then in the second, we will set the sails and enjoy this magnificent early spring day on the Slovenian coast. Welcome inside the Beneteau First 24. The main feature of this interior is that it's all one big open space, as you can see. And on top of that, we really made sure that there is enough light here. It might look minimalistic, but there's a clear reason for it. So during the whole design process of the boat, we were very weight sensitive. And that's because what happens with most of the boat is that then the interior actually kills the sailing potential of the boat because it's too heavy. But that doesn't mean that the boat is not suitable for cruising, far from that. We just approach it in a little bit different way. One of the ways how we achieved significant weight reductions is that the interior is functioning as a structure of the boat as well, and it's completely vacuum infused. So for example, these benches are of course functioning as a storage place behind it, and the bench on the top, insubmersibility as well, but these are also longitudinal reinforcements of the boat. It's important to know that this interior is completely separated from the storage under the cockpit in the back. So this is all the technical equipment which usually smells and or it's dirty, it's stored there. So this is really for cruising, so your personal belongings, food and living on board. Before I move to the actual cruising features, here is the electric panel with where you control the 12-volt installation, and also the battery is hidden all the way in the back. Here it's what comes as standard. It's a practical storage box, and here on the other side where there is a place for a chemical toilet. This is by itself nothing special, except about the fact that chemical toilets are on most of other boats on the market stored under the front wee berth, basically under your pillow, which we believe that it's absolutely basically unacceptable solution. That's why we made sure that the porta potty, the chemical toilet, fits in here, and also it's basically fixed with the width of the space here. So just in the start I mentioned a lot of light, so the interior is really bright. A lot of ventilation through the front hatch and the companionway, plus that you have these big side windows. So altogether a lot of light in the interior, which gives you additional feeling of being connected to the outside, to the nature, and of course about the volume of the interior. And then when the night falls, there are ambientational lights around the edge of the ceiling. You might be surprised, but this boat is unsinkable because there are 3 separated insubmersibility chambers. So one, it's on each side from here to the back, on both sides and under entire volume of the front wheel berth. And this makes it's twice as the displacement of the boat is, so this boat is actually, it's really unsinkable, but that doesn't mean that there is not enough storage space. So under the benches, from here where I sit all the way to the front wheel berth, there is sufficient big storage place on both sides, easily accessible. And this is usually meant for boat technical equipment, maybe food, water, things like that. But then for your personal belongings, we've developed very light crew bags, which are also very practical. So you can, the idea of these crew bags is that you easily take them home. So when you're on the boat, you open it like that. And then when you want to leave home, you take it with you, you pack at home. So when you come on board, you move in by simply hanging on the back, on the attachment points, and that's it. It's a very practical solution because you don't need to repack in the car or here, and at the same time you avoid the bags which are sliding around, usually ending up on the floor, so it's hard to walk and so on. So we've been thinking about it, and of course the bags are also water repellent, so if you take them out and there is some, and if it's raining or whatever, it's no problem. One of the very unique comfort features in this boat are these sliding berth extensions. So when it's pulled all the way forward, like you can see it on the other side, it gives you extra width just where you need it. So for your shoulders and arms, so that's how you achieve very wide berth here, and also a wide and comfortable berth here for two persons, one on each side. Of course, you can move it away when you don't need it. And this is mid position where you sit here. So it's comfortable sitting position and also very handy to use it for the table, for eat at the table, because it's exactly here. And of course, when you don't need it, you just simply store it all the way in and it's completely out of the way. The center part of the interior is taken by the kill box all along. So of course it's a handy step here in front when you enter the boat. The central part is taken by the table. So it's foldable table fixed with this screw which I'm just opening. And the main benefit of this way of fixation is that there is nothing underneath. So even if the table is open like now, there is nothing under and I can really easily move around. You saw that it can be also half open like it was on the start, or you can completely fold it down. When you don't need it, there is also a back coming with this option. So all the extensions goes in here and the table sits nicely in the back, protected, and then you can store it either in the back or here on the side. If we move forward, here we have the kill winch. So this is where you control the swinging kill system. It's a worn winch system, and what is special about it is the way how the worn winch is connected to the kill, and this is with the Dyneema rope. So that means that in case you would hit the ground, the kill would swing back and you would save the structure of the boat. So actually this kill system is partly also one of the safety features of the boat, because even if you ground it, you would need to hit really hard to damage the structure of the boat. And of course this is big thing because we all know that sooner or later it happens. The kill winch is operated with the winch handle, the same as you use outside for the sail controls. It's having quite high gear, so we've been thinking that basically all the crew members, so even the kids can operate the kill, because this is a family cruiser. So it takes more turns, but it's really easy. So I mean, I just want to demonstrate it here. Whichever way I turn it, I can do it with two fingers. Here is the inspection glass. And that's where you control the position of the kill. So the rope is marked in most up and most down position. You cannot sail with any intermediate positions. Kill needs to be down when you're out on the water, but you can have the boat on the mooring with the kill all the way lifted. You can have the keel lifted up on the mooring, on the shallow mooring, but there are many other applications of this keel system. So if we start on the water, beside the shallow mooring, it gives you access to the places you were not able to visit before, because you had too much draft. So when the keel is all the way in, when it's called completely retracted, the draft of the boat is about 25 centimeters, so that means that you can go in really shallow bays. Theoretically, you could even beach the boat if you protect the bottom with some foam or something, and in any case you walk off the boat. So in cruising, this is completely new. This gives you completely new freedom and opportunities. Of course, swinging keel system from the performance side allows us to have excessive draft of 2 meters, which is really a lot for 7.30 meters of a boat. And then the system is made in a way that when the keel is up or down, it's not interfering the interior at all. So this is very important when you're maybe comparing it with other boats, because many other boats are having vertical lift system, or they need some special constructions which you usually keep on the trailer. Here you're taking everything with you anytime, and in the interior nothing happens, and there will be no water coming in, and there will be no wall in the middle of the interior, because basically in the cruising, you need keel lifted when you are mostly also using the interior. So like in the evenings, afternoons, when you go to sleep and you're in some shallow bay. But that's not all, because the swinging keel system gives you many advantages also on the land. So if we just, all the manipulation, moving around with the boat, trailing, it's so much easier. So the keel completely retracts. That means the slip launching is easy because the boat is not high on the trailer. Low center of the weight on the trailer means that the boat is easily trailable, because it really sits just above the wheels and there is nothing in between. And of course, this means that you can discover places you always wanted to with your own boat. So you can move around, even in different countries or so. And at the same time, this is decreasing your running costs of the boat, because out of season, you don't need to have it in the marina or on some supports or in the water on the even more expensive berth, but you can have it basically parked on your trailer in your backyard or some garage, which is much more convenient and cheaper. I will finish the interior presentation with the front berth. As you can see, it's really long. It gets narrow in the corner, but you will see when I lay down that it's more than sufficiently long. When you use it, you of course can easily move away the bowsprit so that it's not on the way. And what I do when I sleep here in the front, I also move away the crew back here, so I gain a little bit more width here. And when I lay inside, you can see that I'm pretty tall, and this is more than decent berth with still quite some extra room in the front. Just above it there is ventilation, so the huge hatch for ventilation, an extra light, so really cozy and comfortable setup. In the meantime, I've moved the table, which was previously here on the top of the keel box. I'm moving the outside. It's the same table, just with a little extension. So this is how you use it outside. So you have 4 berths. 2 of them here on the side are even wider than on most of the boats. The decent front wee berth, you have the place for the chemical toilet, which is not under your pillow, which I think it's a pretty good thing. There are bags for your personal belongings, which are also removable, so another smart solution. You have storage for the technical equipment inside here, as well as under the cockpit in the back. There is table used inside or outside again. So this, I believe that boat is really answering these basic comfort needs. Keep in mind we are still in a 24 feet boat. And yes, it's trailable, it's unsinkable, And what's most important, it's really delivering exciting sailing experience. It's modern planning sailing boat, and this is what I'm going to show you next. The forecast for today is pretty light, and to show you how easy the boat is to handle, I will sail single-handed for today's walkthrough. While we are leaving the marina, let me touch some technical details and the building and give you some insight on the building technology behind this boat. So the naval architect Samuel Manuart is having very strong racing background in offshore racing with amazing results, and this can be also well seen in the way how this boat is designed and how it's built. So if we first touch the building technology, the entire boat, the hull, deck, bulkheads, even the keel is vacuum infused with the vinyl ester resin and the PVC foam in the core of the sandwich construction. And this gives you very, very light but stiff hull and deck, so the structure of the boat. On the design side, the boat is marked with very modern hull shape. So that means the hull is relatively flat on the bottom with sharp chines relatively low above the sea level. So this means that the boat is relatively wide on the water line, and this is what generates this initial hull stability. So this, in practical terms, when you're sailing out on the water, means that the boat gives you some time to react. When it starts to heel, when the gust comes, it starts to heel slowly and gives you time to react. And this is very important for relaxed and safe sailing. So mentioning safety, the next key point that we can say that the boat is safe is the stability of the boat. One source of it is the initial hull stability, so the way how the hull is designed. And then, of course, the second very obvious one is the keel. So thanks to the swinging keel system, which I explained when we were checking the interior, these boats can have a significant draft of 2 meters, which is really a lot for 7.30 m boat. And this means that the keel can be relatively lighter compared to some other boats, and because it can be very deep. And that additionally, also coming from the high-end racing, is the way how the keel is built. So the entire fin of the keel is vacuum infused and composite. So usually you have a steel center structural element in the keel and then the lead on the bottom. In the case of First 24, we have the composite fin and then the lead insert on the bottom. And this, of course, means that the weight is really concentrated very, very low on the bottom of the keel on 2 meters. And that allows us to save some additional weight because the keel can be light, the bulb and can be lighter because of the design. So before we hoist the sails, I need to touch the rig. So the boat is equipped with relatively standard solutions. So it's aluminum Selden rig. Boom is positioned relatively high so that you have easier maneuvering underneath. The furling jib comes, of course, as a standard equipment, and the mainsail is on well-known plastic sliders in the groove of the mast. So as you can see, we have really fantastic sailing conditions today. It's about 7, maybe 8 knots of wind. And before we open the sails, I would just like to touch the cockpit area and the storage place in here, because entire area under the cockpit is one huge space, practically divided with the structural reinforcements so that the things are not sliding around. And this is place where you will store all your fenders, ropes, all marine equipment, anchor in the back, and also the engine. For today afternoon sailing, I will simply leave it on the stern because it's no need to move it in. But this is where even the 6 horsepower petrol engine fits in. The sea breeze is nicely building up, and It's time to hoist the sails, right? Beneteau First 24 is featuring really spacious and open cockpit. As you can see, it's almost half of the boat length, and this is because you spend here most of your time when you're on the water and on the boat. So it's very important how it's shaped. So as you first front half, that's where I'm sitting at the moment. It's wider. So this is because this gives you a more comfortable sitting position, and also if you'll be cruising or even lay down, this width is very welcome. And at the same time, wider benches here gets you closer to the table, so that the outside table really becomes practical then. While the back is a little bit more narrow. Why I'm pointing out that is that even though the shape of the bench is changing, you have very nice and good foot support here, dedicated also for the aft part. So the deck organization and the control lines are carefully thought out. On first hand, we wanted to get rid of all the systems that are not really necessary and are complicating the deck organization and the system. And on the other hand side, we wanted to make sure that the ropes are not too heavy to operate, so that you can really easily trim it. So for that reason, for example, like with the Cunningham and Vank, you have a lot of purchases, so that you can control and trim the main without using the winches, because they're just 2 winches, which is for sure sufficient. That goes thanks to minimized number of ropes and also the winch feeders. So as you can see here at the moment, I've cross-sheeted the jib. So actually now in sailing solo, from this less than 1 square meter, I'm in reach of all the controls I need, right? I have the tiller extension here, I have the mainsail sheet, the jib is cross-sheeted here on the windward, and I can really easily, without any problem, trim it. Then of course from here I'm in reach for the Cunningham, for the Vank and the outhaul for the mainsail trim. And if I would need to do some like tension, some halyards or anything, that's also everything here. So that's why this cockpit is really functioning well in short-handed or solo configuration. Of course, on the other hand side, we cannot. I need to mention again that the easy handling of this boat, on one hand side, of course, comes from the deck organization, but the key source or why this boat is easy to handle is how it's designed. So the hull shape, which gently reacts on the gusts, and of course on the other hand side, the stability of the boat with very deep keel, with weight concentrated very low under the water, 2 meters, don't forget that, it's really extensive draft, and of course the steering system. So the boat is having twin rudder blades. As you can see now, when I have the boat balanced, its boat is going straight almost by itself. I just do some very small corrections. It's really light and it gives you perfect control. Of course, at the moment that's nothing so special, but when the wind picks up, when the boat starts to heel, one rudder blades remains vertical and gives you perfect, complete control no matter the heeling angle. So it's really hard to broach this boat. So to not just talk about easy handling, and let me show you let me show you how the boat works in action. So I'll do a simple tack now. I've changed the tiller. Before I open this side, and here we go. So really easy, and as you can see, I'm not using the winch handle at all. It's still possible to do everything on hand, with hands. So we go back on the previous stack to give you back the good viewing angle. So as you can see, the boat really functions well in solo setup. The things are on place, at hand. There are no big forces, everything runs smoothly. But of course, it's also important, if we are saying that this is a club racer, it's also important how the boat would behave in a fully crewed setup. And yes, in this case, the great thing is that this cockpit, as it is, can easily welcome the crew of 4 for some club races, for example. And it also functions very well. So you would have the helmsman here in the back, the mainsail trimmer on this position. Where I'm sitting now, this is usually the jib trimmer position, and at least one, but probably 2 persons in some longer upwinds will end up here on the side. And this is also my favorite position, especially for some cruising, because you can really comfortably sit here and enjoy the nature and the sea. So far we've been sailing upwind, and here the boat speed is defined by the boat length. And that's very simple physics behind it. Of course, the true potential and the main difference of this new first line is its planning potential in downwind. We'll of course not surf in between the waves in the downwind part, but I'm still sure that you will see how well the boat reacts and how pleasant it is to sail and steer. So I will prepare the gennaker and then move your point of view back on the stern, because from there you can best see what I would like to show you and what I will talk about. So welcome back with a view from the stern. In the meantime, I've prepared the gennaker, the fractional one, and let's have some fun and hoist it. I should not forget opening the sheets. Okay, this one is up. I furl the jib. Okay, nice. Of course I created a mess, but that's how it is. So in this downwind part, I would like to show you how fun this boat is to sail, right? We can have, if you are willing to play and you want some performance, you can always push it a little bit higher, and you can see that the boat is really immediately accelerating, right? As soon as you go a little bit higher, the boat speeds up, and also every puff that comes gives you acceleration. And here is where it comes one of very important differences between the planning boats and displacement boats, and that is that at the displacement boats, which are too heavy and the hull shape doesn't allow them to actually start gliding, all these forces, all extra wind speed or the wind strength is resulting in the forces inside the system, inside the boat and on the ropes. And on these light modern planning boats, all this extra power is transformed into speed, and that means that that results in a much easier handling of the boat. as you can see, that it's a real pleasure to steer and sail with these boats, because it's so rewarding. Every gust, every puff gives you some extra speed, and you can see that we are not that far from this first stage of planning if you look on the stern. And even if the boat is heeling, like if I would push it even higher, the stability and of course the steering system allows me that the forces are not too high. But of course, this is let's say the sporty nature of the boat. What I would also like to show you today is how the boat behaves if you decide to go for some easy downwind cruising, something like that. So I leave this one fixed here. I can sit on the lee. And enjoy afternoon cruise. So when you decided to steer on the lee side like now, in this case you would keep the Jennaker sheet on the cleat, and I will show you one system we have here. So you will trim the sail from here, and because of this setup, because of the setup of the blocks here, you can simply turn on the ratchet block, and in this case you can easily trim the sail in these light conditions, and even in few knots of wind more, just simply with your hand without using winches. All the way in the back of the cockpit there is the tiller cover, which I didn't mention so far. So of course, on the technical side, this first function is to cover the steering system underneath so that you wouldn't accidentally step on it. But of course, it's also having a very important cruising function, because when you are sailing downwind like now, maybe not as a helmsman, but if you're in team of 2 or more, I can really imagine myself very comfortably laying down here and enjoying the ride. And if I would have a beanbag here, then I would have a comfort of home sofa 30 centimeters from the water. Actually, a pretty joyful place to be. From today's conditions, you cannot really see how safe this boat is, and how, especially regarding the control that the twin steering system gives you. But for that, I'm inviting you to check the First 24 SE Seascape edition walkthrough, where I'm sailing at much higher wind speeds. But the tiller system, the hull, actually everything except the rig is identical. So you can also get a very good idea how it works when the wind, with a stronger wind in that video. So in the start of this video, I've said that the mission of the 7th incarnation of famous Beneteau First range is making modern sailing experience accessible to everyone. And I'm pretty sure that this is one of best performing micro cruisers on the market. You will be again and again surprised by the performance and the sailing experience of this boat, while she's still offering all the key amenities you could expect on 7.30 m boat. Of course, keep in mind all the safety features I've mentioned, unsinkable, and so the swinging keel system, which is making it completely trailable. So all in all, it's really a lot of smart features, a lot of gadgets, and of course a lot of solutions, which gives you really a lot of freedom in the way how you want to use the boat, where you want to go, and how you would like to sail. I hope that I proved my statements throughout the video. Of course, since I've finished finish recording for today, and as you can see, it's absolutely magnificent, magnificent day. I cannot help myself not to go sailing for a little bit more. Thank you for watching. Enjoy sailing wherever and however you do it, and fair winds.